Colour is at the heart of my practice. Whether I'm working on a conceptual shoot or painting in the studio, my mind is in a continuous discussion with colour. I'm constantly seeking to tap out those parts of myself and others that nobody sees, to unhinge that part of our awareness, and a big part of that exploration is through colour. Colour has always been a very intuitive and emotional process for me. I'm Claire Luxton and I'm a multidisciplinary artist, and this is my workshop on colour. Whilst I think it's important to understand the fundamentals of colour, I feel to truly find your own colour voice, you need to drop the rules and experiment. Today I wanted to show you one of the ways I experiment with colour and plan my paintings, plan my work. I call these colorscapes. I often create these colorscapes, colour maps, whatever you want to call them, in my sketch pads and notebooks. Essentially, they're a colour doodle, a doodle from your brain of colour, as opposed to it being something super literal. This is something that's really abstract that can help bring different emotions, textures and physicalities to a concept. Now, the first part of the process is picking colour. This isn't something that we want to be agonising over. The idea of a perfect colorscape is for it to be intuitive, emotional, and for you to not overanalyze it. Today we're going to work with a 3-colour palette and a couple of black pencils and pens. The first colour that I want you to pick is a colour that you are always drawn to. It's inevitable that we're always going to be drawn to certain tones, shades and colours in everyday life and within our work, so let's use that as your first colour. The second colour I want you to pick is a colour that you don't like. Maybe it's something you've always found distasteful, something you wouldn't intuitively use. That's the next colour that you pick. The third colour that I want you to pick is a colour that you find boring or drab. This is going to allow us to analyse if using this colour with another colour or in a different way might change our perspective on how these colours work together. Essentially, with a colour doodle, the most important step is to get colour on that blank page. You don't want to overanalyze this process. This is about reverting to a childlike state of play where you have no inhibitions, no prior knowledge. You are experimenting, growing, learning. I didn't realise, but I actually ended up doodling on this one for over 15 minutes, so I'm going to put my colorscape into a time lapse so you can see the process sped up. I like to work on these over a couple of days or a couple of hours depending on what paints you're using and how long they take to dry. I think it's really beautiful to build up layers and see how colours overlapping with different levels of transparency create new colours and textures. Don't be afraid to lay your paint on really thick or water it down. Use spray paint, use pencil, use acrylic, use oil, use watercolour, whatever you have at hand. Put it on thick, put it on thin. Create different scapes with your colour. When you feel you've reached saturation point with any particular colorscape, I find it great just to leave it for a day or so, come back to it, reflect on the work. Sometimes I cut my scapes up into much smaller pieces so that you can then look at your small ecosystems of colour that you've created on the page. A lot of these end up becoming different colour profiles that I'll use in my photography, and I also like to use these as small plans for my much larger scale paintings. I really hope you enjoyed seeing part of my colorscape process today. If anything, I hope this is helpful in your own exploration with colour, and to be honest, the process is pretty therapeutic. and I would really love to see any of your own colorscape creations using the hashtag StayHomeGetCreative.